Hey you guys, I'm Catherine, certified nutrition consultant with Foods That Heal You and Foods That Heal You CBD. If you're familiar with my channel and my videos, you know that I usually teach on CBD, nutrition, health, and detox. This video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be sharing my personal story on overcoming severe and chronic insomnia and how CBD oil, how I've used that along the way to help me. Now, just to be completely upfront and honest, CBD oil is not a cure. It has not cured my insomnia. I had to really dig deep and get to the root of my insomnia, which I will share in this video. And I'm also going to share how I use the CBD oil to help me get through it. All right. So let's go ahead and I'll just start with just a basic overview. So I've suffered insomnia my entire life. So all the way back in childhood, I remember nights where I'd be up all night, unable to sleep and didn't know why. But it wasn't every single night. It was just here and there or whatever. And then in college, it got worse. Then it got a little bit better again. So it kind of come in phases. Well, 6 years ago, it got severe. And I wanted to share this story with people because I know that there are just tons of people out there who are suffering from severe insomnia. We're not talking just a few nights of poor sleep. We're talking about chronic, severe insomnia. And you're wanting answers. And when you turn to YouTube and the internet, you get tips like, go to bed on time, don't drink coffee. And I actually have a sleep video series that can help you with those practical tips because they're very important. But the thing is, what do you do when you're the person who none of that stuff works? I'm that person. None of that worked. And I have a lot of stuff that happened in my life. So I had to really dig deep and figure out, why am I up all night? So about 6 years ago, I started having severe, we're talking like 1 hour sleep a night, and it was ongoing. And I did not know what was going on. And it's terrifying when you can't sleep. And actually, for me, those nights of not sleeping, it wasn't just laying there calmly, unable to sleep. I actually was feeling the adrenaline rush, like you're being chased by a bear. I was feeling the terror, and it was more than just anxiety. Anxiety is a huge contributor to insomnia. This was even more extreme than that. So I had turned to somebody who ministers inner healing. She's amazing. I always say that she's like Jesus reaching down his hand to save me because I needed Jesus to heal me, and I needed someone to help take me to Jesus. That's kind of the way I see it. So anyway, I turned to her for help, and what had started happening was I was realizing I had memories from childhood that were coming up, and my body was responding first before my brain had remembered the memory. So people can say, oh, you're just drudging up the past, and the past, you can just let it go. Well, the truth of the matter is, if you're somebody who suffered anxiety, PTSD, insomnia, you know that these are not things that you can just wish away. You can't just will them away. You can't just pull up your bootstraps and say, I'm going to go to sleep tonight. It just doesn't work that way. I don't care how tough or strong of a person you are. You can't just will this stuff away. There's a reason. There's a root problem for these things. So for me, and this is my story again, but for me, the root problem was memories and trauma from my childhood. I suffered severe emotional trauma, sexual abuse. I just suffered a lot of trauma all the way through my childhood, and I had blocked it all out. And when you block it out, you do that so you can survive, all right? So you survive through life. Then you hit your 50s or 60s, and things start to go wrong. I hear from people all the time who are like, all of a sudden they can't sleep, or all of a sudden they have anxiety, and they don't know where it's coming from. Well, you might want to look at your past. It might be because, and people will say, why would you want to drudge up the past? You know what? I don't want to drudge up the past. I just want a good night of sleep, right? Sleep is precious to me. I cherish my nights of sleep. So, but the truth of the matter is if you black out the past, that takes a part of you with it, first of all. And it's not courage to just ignore. There's a difference between denial and facing. So if you're just saying, oh, I just don't want to look at the past, it doesn't matter. Well, the past is who you are. Your past, you become the person you are because of what happened to you in your past, right? So if you can't face your past, then you're in denial. If you can't face what happened to you, whether it's good or bad, then you're probably in denial, and you need to look at that. And here's why you need to look at that. Because when we're younger, and something bad happens to us, we naturally get angry at whoever hurt us. And when you get angry at somebody when you're a child, you don't know what to do with it, and then you sleep overnight, like it says in Hebrews, don't let the sun go down on your anger. That means don't hold on to that anger. Well, as a child, you don't know what else to do with that anger, so you hold on to it, right? So there's no forgiveness there. And forgiveness is the key to being set free. The truth First of all, the truth will set you free. So you got to be able to face the truth of what happened in your life if you really want to be set free from whatever's going on. And I might be going on a bunny trail on this video, but like I said, it's not going to be a normal teaching or anything. So anyway, you want to face the truth, and you gotta know what happened, because you got to know who you need to forgive, right? So for me, I had blocked out all the memories, which is normal because, or common, because you can't handle it. As a child, you can't handle it. So you block it out, you have to survive. I hit 45 years old or whatever it was, and all this trauma started surfacing because I was strong enough to handle it at this point. I don't really feel like I was strong enough, because going all that time without sleep is pretty horrendous. And you know what I mean if you've gone through it. So as the memories started coming up, I started facing the memories, dealing with the memories, the ungodly beliefs, which would be, for example, such and such happened to me, I'm worthless. That's shame too. Anytime you say I am in front of something, that's shame. So I am worthless. I am nothing. I am nobody. Nobody will ever love me is an ungodly belief. I am unlovable. Nobody wants me. These are beliefs that we acquire when we're children and we are abused, okay? So those are the things that you want to address, but you also want to address forgiving people. You have to forgive in order to let go. So if somebody says, for example, why do you want to drudge up the past? Just let it go. Well, I'm not drudging up the past. Like I said, I just want a good night of sleep. What I'm doing is I'm facing the past so that I can figure out, who do I need to forgive? What have I subconsciously held on to? What unforgiveness? What lies have I believed? What have I believed at the subconscious level that have programmed me to act the way I act, or to have the insomnia or have the anxiety? A great analogy I heard before was, it's kind of like driving a car. When you first start driving a car, you have to be really conscious of everything you're doing when you first learn. But after a while, it's subconscious, it's programmed. You drive the car, you can get from your house to the grocery store, and you can't even hardly remember how you got there, because it's subconscious, it's programmed. So these memories, these things that happen, these lies, all this stuff is subconscious. It's buried in the subconscious. And then it starts coming to the conscious. It travels from the back of the brain, where you can't remember it. It's stored away, tucked away. It comes to the front of the brain, where you can deal with it. All right. So if it stays in the back of the brain, you're probably still going to suffer with things like insomnia, even body pain. I can tell you I've had huge amounts of healing from body pain. It was like a fibromyalgia type of thing that I was suffering, chronic pain, horrible. And as I've gradually faced the past, forgiven, let go, whatever, that chronic pain, it's nearly gone. I mean, it's huge difference. Okay, so basically that's what's been was at the root of my insomnia. Now, I still have waves of memories come up. So initially, it was just bam, 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 constant insomnia, one thing after another, one memory after another. But now I've dealt with so much of it that it just comes in waves. For example, last week I had 6 nights of 2 to 3 hours of sleep. One night was 20 minutes of sleep as the memories were coming up. There was no pill, there was nothing that was gonna work to help me sleep. I tried the CBD oil, a huge amount of it. It didn't work, and I wasn't willing to take drugs. I actually tried a sleeping pill a friend gave me at one point, did nothing. So sometimes you have to deal with what's going on. Now, as far as the CBD oil does go, when I'm in between and I might not have, let's say the memory is just starting to surface and it hasn't surfaced yet, the CBD oil will help me sleep in that meantime. I mean, it works terrific for in between times, because even though I don't have big sleep problems in between times, I do still have some problems getting to sleep. And so I use the CBD oil to help me. You have to use larger amounts when you have really hard, tough insomnia. Like I use the gold gel, which I have in other videos, and the soft gels. What I do is, you're gonna see the dosing is gonna be like 10 to 15 milligrams. I always say start with a serving. That's a general rule. But when you have something real extreme going on, like severe anxiety or severe insomnia, like I got going on, I took 45 milligrams to help calm me down, to get me to sleep. All right, so that's quite a bit. And what I did was, and I'll just show you here, I've got the soft gels. These are 15 milligrams each, and so I took 2 of these, that's 30, and then I took 3 servings of the gold gel. The gold gel is way more strong than anything else you're ever gonna find. I use this, this helps me better to get to sleep. I can feel it kick in a half an hour. And then when you do soft gels, they're kind of like taking an edible, a healthy edible, instead of gummies with sugar in it. And this will kick in like an hour later and last longer through the night. So this kind of helps me get to sleep, and this helps me stay asleep. Again, it's not a cure, but if you're suffering from insomnia, it will help you get through while you deal with whatever the root cause is. And if the root cause is just simply stress, the cortisol levels that go up and the adrenaline that goes up when you're stressed out is going to keep you awake. So again, you need to deal with the stress. And I know a lot of people talk about meditation. I think meditation is, well, I don't want to open a can of worms here, but I meditate on the Word of God. Let's just leave it at that. For example, if my fear is abandonment, because I had to deal with a ton of fear of abandonment, all right, from childhood. So if my thing is fear, then that I'm going to be abandoned, then I meditate on Hebrews. I will never leave you. God's saying, I will never leave you. Or Isaiah 41 says, I am with you. Now, you might have Christians say, oh, just meditate on the Word and that's all you need to do. Well, I'm here to tell you that the Word is, it's essential. It's necessary for the healing that I've gone through. But it's not always the end all. Sometimes we need help from other people. Like I said, addressing the lies and the forgiveness. The Bible isn't going to do that for you. The Bible's the truth and truth sets you free, but the Bible's going to tell you to forgive, okay? So it's kind of like the owner's instructional manual or whatever you call it for life. It's like the Bible's going to tell you to forgive. Well, how do you forgive? You go and you look at what you face, whatever happened, you forgive, and then you're set free. So it's a combination of using the Word of God to meditate on that, because you want to make sure you're meditating on truth. Whatever you put in your mind, that's going to form your beliefs again, all right? So I want my beliefs to line up with the truth, which in my opinion and experience, of course, is the Word of God. And then I deal with the ungodly beliefs, also known as lies, and forgiving. And that's really been the core of my healing journey. And I probably will be doing more videos just because, like I said, I've been through so much things. I've been set free of eating disorders. I've been set free from codependency, severe codependency. I've been set free from a lot of different stuff. So I'm just going to be, hopefully in the future, sharing more on how God has worked in me to do that, because without him, I couldn't do any of this. There's no amount of CBD oil. There's no amount of nutrition. Nutrition is absolutely essential. If I didn't have a good diet, I would be so sick with all this insomnia and trauma. So those things are essentials, but they're the basics. So what I want to do is just share my story with you and hopefully encourage people that there's hope. You can get through this. There is a way out of these different things that we suffer in our lives. All right, so thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video or got something out of it, please thumbs up so that I know. If you didn't enjoy it and you don't thumbs up, then I'll know not to do anymore. Okay, thanks for watching.